Hi, everybody. It's Joyce J. Scott, round-the-way girl from Sandtown, and I'm here to teach you the basics of weaving. This is my loom. This is the apparatus, which we made out of a table turned upside down. This is basic. It's the warp. The warp is the thread that holds the weaving, and this is my weft. This is the thread that I weave with. It's very simple. All you have to do is pick up the opposite thread that you picked up on the earlier row. So here, I picked up this thread. This time I'm going to skip it and pick up the bottom thread. And I do that all the way across. So each row is picking up the opposite thread from the last row. You can use your fingers like I am. A nice tug. When you look at your weaving, you'll see that it's like a brick pattern, and that's because each time I pick up the opposite thread. Now, I'm using my hand and the thread, or yarn. We have lots of tools to carry the yarn. One is this nifty plastic needle. You can't kill yourself or the person next to you. It's the same technique, but now we have a tool that will be able to carry more yarn for me. Same weaving. Now, you see, I didn't go all the way down to the base. I can use different parts of my warp. And I also, see how I'm using this needle? Can go around in a circle. So you can have floating designs throughout your work. I can squeeze it, or I can take my comb and pat it a bit. I also don't have to use only yarn. So we can just find another place and start weaving. Now, what does this mean? Why am I taking these bumpy, ugly pieces of thread, mixing them up with yarn, and now weaving them? Because it gives me a different texture, and it makes me more inventive about how I'm going to weave, where I'm going to place it, what I'm going to do with it. The only thing I have to remember is to make sure that I'm picking up the opposite thread so that it locks my weaving in. Now, you're saying, ew, that looks ugly. That's your job. We don't take anybody else's work out. When we look at it and think, I can make that better, then that's your job to enhance, not destroy. So you can take other yarns and decide to weave around it. You might not even like where the position of it is. So you can probably push it down a little bit and integrate it with the other things you've woven. One of the things I generally suggest, unless you have some kind of plan for this, you push it in the back. You push your knots in the back, the comb, so that I can pack my rows together so that they are compressed, strong, and look neat. To be inventive means that you have to have a little courage. You have to decide to do something that doesn't seem to be the most traditional or efficient way of working. As long as our threads aren't falling out, as long as you continue to use the pick up one, skip one, opposite on each row, you're going to have a fabulous weaving. You know, I have traveled the world, and where I go, I usually look for artists. I've learned how to weave, people on the side of the road, or even people at markets or in different stalls. But really, it was my first weaving experience was with my mom and with my community. This is something that can be given to each other. People can learn by just working, but sometimes the stuff you learn not about weaving is just as interesting and important. By that, I mean working in a group, being giving and compassionate about your weaving when it doesn't look exactly like everybody else's, having a good time.